So I'm rolling this out paper thin, paper thin. Look how much I'm getting this. It's like pasta. I should be able to see through it. And then, okay, I'm just going to, I'll hand, oh, thank you, dear. So then I'm going to take my cutter. Now, if you don't have a cutter, this is one of those cutters I was talking about. If you don't have a cutter, you can just hand do it. Cut it by hand, just like the marzipan. When you have the inside of the rose, generally what happens is, you know, it starts almost like, I would say, artichoke. So again, you see how, and I'll just do a bud real fast. You're going to be tempted to say, I'm sick of doing this. I want to roll this big old thing out. And guess what's going to happen? If I rolled all of this paste out, it would dry. And it's rendered useless. Gum paste that becomes dry is, you know, not so great. So again, nice and thin. Cut it. Already a little bit. You can see I'm hardly using any of it, right? I have to do one more, and then the next one I'm going to wrap it like I would a marzipan. Okay. Now, can you go from the rounds, like when I make roses, if you look at these roses, that one is done just like the marzipan one, okay? But I like to put a little bit more on there because it gives you some strength to the flower. You know, especially because you're moving, you're driving back and forth and things of that nature. Now, if your kit, you didn't get one of these little roly-polies, look, I can roll this right on the table. You could also, if you want, purchase a placemat that has a little bit of a sponge on the back. Get my card. I'm getting bored of doing this, so I'm going to do what I always do, which is just do what? Start to do my own thing. So I'll do, people, there are like clubs that do this kind of work. And then this one, I'll turn this back. I don't want to see that inside, so. There we go. Now that's starting to look more like a rose. Agreed? Mm-hmm. That's about like a little bud. And then I would do another one and another one for a bud. I will do that when we're over there. I don't want to keep touching it because what's going to happen to it? Yeah, it's going to fall. The other thing is, I want you to note that I have to be very careful. You'll have a tendency to see I cut a lot of the paste off because the bottom of the rose has to be nice and thin. It can't be this big old hunk of stuff under there. All right, now we'll do a little bluebell. And these are easy. And bluebells can be blue, you guessed it, okay, or yellow. The yellow are really pretty. And then on the inside, I like yellow because it's daffodil time in spring. So a rose is a formed flower. The stephanotis is coming off of that Mexican hat. And this one is rolled flat, and this particular one is going to go on an L-shaped. Little L-shaped. So all I do is, okay, little L. Now, you have varying sizes, but this is the size for the bluebell. Let me see if that's going to be. I know it's hard to stand, but I'm standing so you can stand. Okay, so here's your little bluebell. Well, it's white. Pretend it's blue. And then, you know, I'm just hoping that when y'all come back from break that I'm just blown away by all of your gum paste work. Because you can access this stuff on YouTube and do all your own flowers, you know what I'm saying? I would stay away from some of the more difficult ones like the tiger lilies because they're big, but they're very fragile. So I would do like the roses and all this little filler stuff. So when I'm putting this, you see what I'm doing here? I have to be careful. I'm on that little buoyant piece of sponge and you see that that's actually balling it up. If you have the marzipan tools that come with the little baller, that's the one that I would do instead of this because I have to be very careful I'm not. Okay, so then I take this little guy, and these flowers really don't come to life until, what do you think you do to them? Yeah, you gotta, this guy never wants to stay. Yeah.
So you don't pull that through, Chef? You just press it in?
Yeah, I usually just press it on. Or, like Danielle says, you can put a little piece on the back and do like this little guy. I have to do that. I try not to do that, but it's another thing that has to dry.
It's like everything is delicate.
Yeah. Right. And I don't think they have anything on the bottom of them. I think that's the... Yeah. Yeah. And then you know what, like I said, you'll all find like your own little tricks that you can do. And then like if that was blue, then in the center, you could do a little yellow dust and then a dark blue center. That will be really pretty. Okay. The bottom of the rose, the calyx, is made from this 5-star cutter. Ready? I will demo, I'll just demo that, but you can see here how it's placed on the flower. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, right? But I'll just show you that you want to I think the daisy is pretty self-explanatory too, don't you think? I mean, because I do have a nice daisy right here, and this is another example of on the back of that flower. So you would do the daisy. Now this person, what they did was they did one daisy, okay? So they did a little dollop on the bottom of the thing, right? And then they rolled this out, put it on there, and then they did another one, and they positioned it that way. Then you just have a little yellow center there. The center you can leave that way. I've also seen students brush a little bit of egg white and then your crystal sugar on there, and that will give it a real pretty look. But in terms of the detail, you know, they have the little indents in there. You could also use the cornmeal if you wanted, and then we marked that, so that's nice. Black-eyed Susans are very pretty too. You could do this like a goldish, orangish, not orange, a goldish, yellowish kind of color, and then the center is black. Okay, you can find a black stamens. That looks really pretty. Okay, for the let me do. I'll just do the calyx, and then I'll do the leaf, and then I think that's enough to get you started, don't you think? Unless there's any questions. What I'll try to do when we go next door, I'll keep working on the rose. But you really can't do, like I said, too much of it. Okay, so here's the calyx, which is also the stephanotis one. And once you use the real colors, see, that's what I do. I usually keep the scraps and I hold them in my hand. So you go back and you roll it out. Then you would do, again, a little bit of egg white. I would pick this up, put it on the bottom of the rose, and I would curl these back a little bit. Now, calyx has 5 little thingies. Some of the students make the calyx a little fatter. Some of them, what they do is they use a different cutter and they make it thinner. Okay, you see it's really, this one used this one on calyx, which is doable, because you all have different sets, so it's kind of hard. But and then this person used a different cutter, and you can see that looks a little bit more realistic. But I'm not going to be overly critical because everybody has a different set. Okay. Now, let me just do the leaf. Actually, if I can have somebody, Mallory, can you roll this out, please? Sure. Just keep working this, and then I'll show you how to do the leaf. Okay, thank you, beautiful. Okay, now the leaf is kind of tricky. I love ivy. The leaf, I've seen a couple of things, but this is pretty. It kind of reminds me of spearmint. But the, usually I cheat, because like I said, I'm a big fat cheater pants. Usually what I do is I do 2. Okay, and I'll roll out one. Well, let me do it instead of talking about it.